Hey there guys, thanks for joining us on another board gaming night. Today we're doing a Kickstarter preview of Carcosa from One Free Elephant.
Which they kindly gave you a free elephant.
Nice little one, different one as well from the last game. These are the same people who made Awesome, which is great. This game is on Kickstarter, should be Kickstarter now. As of recording this, it's designed by Nigel Kennington. I hope I got that right, Nigel. With me today, we're going to play a 3-player game, and I have John.
Hello.
And Carla. And myself, Jason. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna give you a little brief overview of Carcosa. We're gonna go through some of the basic rules to begin with, and then we're gonna start playing the game, and then we'll come back with the camera and show you how the game flows for a couple of rounds as we're playing today. And then we'll finish off and tell you who won and anything else that we might have missed. Okay, so to begin with, this is a tile laying game. We start off with a city, I think it's called Hastapufet or something like that.
Nailed it.
My Cthulhu mythos is not great, so I'm gonna try.
Your English is not great.
Well, that is true too. Yeah. So this is represents the map sections of Hasta, the heart of Carcosa. Okay, so we're playing a 3-player game. That's why we have 5 sets of tiles out here. In a 4-player game, you'd have the 6th tile. So I'm just going to bring this board a little closer so you can see what I'm talking about. So we have 5 stacks of tiles. They are double-sided, and I'll explain that in a second. We each have a set of 10 cultists. 3 of them are on the sign of yellow, which will be available later when we come to that. We have 1 which is an oracle, which will move around the power track. That's basically victory points. And then we have 1 which is the prophet. These will go on top of tiles when we've taken a tile from there, stopping anyone else taking that from that stack of tiles. And then we have also in our play area, our tableau, we have this little building which has a insane area and a sane area. Cultists that have gone insane will go there, and then they will move to the rested area, and then they'll come to your pool where you can use them to place out on tiles. We have 3 in our pool ready to go, and we have 1 in each of those in the rooms there. So, on your turn, there's a few things you can do, and there's a nice little handy little sheet here to tell you. The first thing you do is recover sanity. So that's where you move cultists from your insane area into your rested area. 1 cultist from there to there, and 1 from your rested area into your pool to use during the game. Then you select a tile from the stack of tiles over here. So the first player to go will get a choice of any of the first 5 once he chooses. So for example, I could say, take this one, and then I'll put my prophet. By the way, this prophet is slightly bigger than the rest of the cultists. I believe this is a Kickstarter stretch goal. So normally you'll get 10 of the same size, but when the game funds and reaches the first stretch goal, this will be the first stretch goal. So he will go there, which means when John and Carla take their turns, they won't be able to take from this tile yet. Then I can have a look at it. So this shows me that it's a ley line, which on the other side, when it's stabilized, will look like that. And then I can add that to the city of Hasta. So I could add that for there, for example. And if you're familiar with Carcosa, you'll see the similarities here. So I can now, if I want to, lay a cultist onto the ley line, which I'll explain what that does in a minute. Or if it was a city tile, where did I take this one from there? So if it was a city one like this, and I added it to the city area or district, I can add that cultist into the district, and when the district is complete, I get power points from that. And there's the ritual site, which looks like this. And if I add a tile, I can add a cultist onto the ritual. And I'll explain all that in a second. Maybe when the gameplay is going, it'll be more beneficial to explain it then. So, place a tile as usual, and then number 4 is place a cultist. So, that's an optional thing. So, once I've placed the tile down, I can add a cultist to one of the tiles I've just added. You can only do 1. And then, if the tile is completed, for example, like this one has a little node, as you can see over there, which means that ley line over there will complete. Means this tile is, I've forgotten the word. What's the word? The S. Unstabilized. So if this is unstabilized at the moment, when it's completed, i.e. the ley line is complete, it will stabilize and flip over. As you can see, this one here is a power conflux, and I'll explain those things in a minute. I just want to get
Obviously.
I just want to get through the basics of what the turn sequence is like, and then that's the last thing you do is when you resolve tiles. When you like in that situation, it stabilizes, you flip it over, and then if you score any points, or your cultists go insane, or the devourer comes out and eats your cultists, or whatever the case may be. So that's the basics of the turn sequence. You have a couple of other things that's going on. You have, in front of you, you have these little spell tiles that start from 2 to 7. So you can see that we all start with 6 of them face down. And they give you special abilities once you've empowered them. So they all start in a sort of a non-empowered mode. And once you complete the ley line, and depending on how big the ley line is, so for example, if I did that and then someone completed it off with that, this would be a 1, 2, 3 power ley line. So I could spend one of my power points to flip over either my 2 or my 3 these little spell tiles, which will then give me a special ability. So number 2 allows me to cure one of my cultists from the sanity track. Number 3 allows me to deploy an extra cultist on my turn. Number 4 allows me to reorganize the stack of tiles. Number 5 allows me to stun one of my enemy's prophets so that I can use the tile they're on, etc, etc. So there's different things that they can do. But once you spend that tile, so let's, for example, I want to cure one of my cultists, I flip this over, I then have to re-empower it at a later stage to get that ability again. And that is pretty much the basics of the game. Do you guys have any questions?
I think the only thing I'd like to add is that like I said, is the Cthulhu mythos, so it's a Cthulhu style game, and what you're trying to do here, from a little bit of information off the rule book, is that you are trying to bring this city into our world.
Yes.
Which is why you've got these unstabilized areas. These cultists are essentially opening areas into our world and bringing it across. So that's why it's unstable while it's coming across. Once it's got another point, then it stabilizes. So it's just, a little bit of information, if you like.
Just to admit that when the game will end when either one of these 2 stacks are empty. So we have 5 stacks here. If 2 stacks are empty, the game will end, and we'll obviously score points. Or when one of the cultists summons the King in Yellow himself. Now, I've not actually seen anyone do that yet, but once you've done that, then the person with the most power points is the winner. Or if he actually summons the King in Yellow himself, then he is the winner as well. So the more finicky details, like how you score points and what you'll do, we'll do that during the gameplay turn. So what we're going to do is just get the ball rolling, get the game started, get a few tiles on the board, and then when we come back with the camera and we film the gameplay turn, as we're revealing tiles and showing you what's happening, I'll explain more of the scoring and how you do stuff then. Okay, so we'll be back in a sec. Okay, so we've had a few turns now, so you can see the map of Carcosa building out. I'm the first player and I'm going to start now. So the first thing I do is you can't see anything that I'm doing.
So move stuff into shot.
So I've already got my 2 spell tile unlocked, which allows me to I can't actually remember what it does. Oh yes, cure one of my cultists. I'm not going to use it just yet. But the first thing I do is I move one of my cultists from my sane area to my rested area. And then I select the tile. So have a quick look at the tiles. As you can see there, these are the 2 available to me. So I can either take what looks like a ley line that moves into a city, or this one which has an end cap for a city and a ley line that begins off. So I'm going to take this one, and then my prophet moves there. I then have a look at it, so it tells me what it looks like on the stabilized side, and then I'm going to place it. So I'm going to place it. I'm going to place it over here. So it's not a big scorer for me, but it's nice. I've now completed this district. So that stabilizes it, which means it flips over. And it's 3 tiles. So I got 1, 2, 3 tiles. So each district in this area is worth 2 points. So that gives me 6 points. So again, moving the camera so you can see the score on the Oracle track. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then this little symbol here on this district, that's a theater. And that tells me I can then remove one of my cultists from the sign in yellow to my insane track. So he's been somewhere in the abyss hiding, and I've now recruited a new follower to my cult.
That's not fair.
It also gave me 6 points that did. Actually, I've skipped a turn here. When
I
I
was going
placed...
to say, do you not need to decide whether you want to place a cultist?
Yes, I should have done that first. I'm not going to place a cultist just because I skipped that part. And this guy that was in the district, he also goes to my insane area.
He gone crazy.
And then that ends my turn. I've just resolved the tile when I jumped ahead there a bit, but that's me done. So now it goes to John. So first thing he does is move something across.
The crazy man goes over there.
Then you
Not
pick
a
it.
lot of option. I think I'm going to go for this one.
Okay, so you can have a look at it.
Oh yeah. It's going to go there. Of sorts. Like that, I think. I'm
Okay.
going to put...
Before you continue, John, I just want to explain something. Here's a guy here on a ritual stack, a ritual site. Because this has no other way of, I've forgotten the word again, stabilizing it. It has to be completely stabilized when it's surrounded by tiles. So that's what John's trying to do here, obviously maximize the amount of tiles.
He's trying to surround it by water. So this particular one doesn't stabilize by a ley line completing. It stabilizes by completely being surrounded by water.
Yeah.
It's a ritual site, and presumably it needs the water of, what is the...
Hastia or something like that.
Yeah,
Or haste. But if you...
for the ritual to complete.
That's where you're begging the king in yellow for some power. So if he does that, he'll get 1 power point for each tile surrounding it, which will be 9, obviously. And then if, for instance, he knows what's underneath there, but the rest of us might not know, that little symbol in the corner there tells us that it's a small chance. It's because of 4-point star. If it was an 8-point star, it'd be more of a chance.
For
Like
instance,
that one.
Yeah, like that one. That the Devourer might be underneath there. If any of the cultists have been ditched into the River Hasty or whatever it's called, and they're lying there, and the Devourer comes out, he will devour them, and they will go to the sign in yellow standing up. So they'll be devoured, no longer available. But for each one devoured is worth 4 power points. So it's a nice way at the end of the game to get some power points, but I don't think you want to do that early game.
Sounds brutal. I'm going to place a little dude.
So John's put that there. Now here's the
I'm
option.
going to put him in the city, I think.
Yeah, so you can either put it in the ley line or the city or the river has. But this is now obviously stabilized, so this will flip over like that, and John is now taking control of that district.
What is that?
A candle. I don't know. This is
Nothing
obviously
special, is it?
yeah. This is obviously a prototype. I know it's a really good-looking prototype, but it's still a prototype nonetheless. So obviously we can go check the Kickstarter link, which I'll put in the show notes below, and you can go check out more on the details of the game and the better finalized artwork and stuff like that. Okay, so that was obviously John placing his cultist and then resolving the tiles. Now it goes to Carla. She can recover sanity. So your little
Alright,
purple dude.
so from the asylum into the recovery area.
And then she gets to choose a tile, which is obviously either that one there or that one there.
So nothing or nothing.
But ley line or ley line? This one obviously gives options for other ley lines going outwards. And then she gets to add that.
Did my little dude go mad from that flipping over?
No, because if he was on the ley line, he would go
Then
mad.
that would be...
Yeah,
Okay.
but because he's in this district, the district is not complete yet.
Yeah, you need to complete
Okay.
the city. I am going to take that ley line. And I'm going to place it there. With the cultist... yeah.
Okay, so that's going to stabilize.
So,
Because,
yeah. So technically that will flip.
okay, so I want to point out something as well here quickly. These big yellow balls of fire, they're called empowered confluxes. That's the only way you can score points from ley lines. So obviously when Carla built this, she scored 1, 2, 3, 4 points because the ley line ended in this empowered conflux. Otherwise, what normally happens when you build a ley line, for example, like this one here, this one's only a 2.2 tile ley line. So when you do that, you complete the ley line, but the cultist that's on the ley line would go to your insane area. And then you have the option, depending on the length of it. So in this case, because it's only a 2, you only have the option for your 2. But you can spend a power point to flip over one of your power tiles. So yeah, that's one way you can basically uncover your spell tiles, is by finishing off the ley lines. And the only way you can score is if they end in a power conflux. So
just to clarify, a new power conflux.
Yes.
So for instance, if I had put my cultist over there, because this one was already out, it's not empowering it for me.
Yeah, I believe that one's been used already.
Yeah, so I could still use the 2 tile to, for instance, reveal my 2 tile. I don't know if that's in the screen, but to reveal my 2 tile, but it wouldn't give me victory points.
No.
Which is why I've chosen to place my little cultist there.
So that basically ends your turn, isn't it? Because you've
placed... I was thinking about that, and I wonder whether I should. No, you know what? No, I'm done.
Okay, so my turn. I'm going to move the camera so you can see mine, because mine might be a little more significant. So this guy moves out into my pool, and this guy becomes ready. I'm then going to use my little spell tile, number 2, which is what is it called? Don of the Mask. And I'm going to flip it over so it's empowered now.
Don the mask. As in, put the mask on, Jackson. You can see he's not really into the whole cultist thing.
And
Don the mask. It's more like a mafia, bro.
I'm going to cure another dude. And the reason I did that is because obviously the 2 is the easiest one to complete as a ley line, and obviously the more cultists you have out, the better you can put stuff down on. So that's me done that. Now I'm going to select the tile. So I've got nothing on the board going on currently, so I can either...
You got nothing.
No, so my options are I can obviously get another ley line tile, or this one which builds out into a huge city. But it will also end a ley line. You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to take this one. Wow, there's even a bigger one underneath. Have a quick look. Ooh. And then I'm going to add this somewhere. And I think I'm going to add it there. So this, well, before I do that, so I place the tile. Now I place a cultist. I'm going to place the cultist inside this district. But because this is now finished this ley line is with 2 tiles, but no one's there, but it still empowers this. So this flips over, or stabilizes this rather. And I noticed there's a little theatre. That's why I put my thing down there.
Oh, naughty.
And that was me resolving my tile, so that is me done. So over to you, John.
Okay, little dude coming out to play. Woohoo!
Don't do that.
Do you not like it?
Fix up on the microphone.
How much?
A lot.
Let's take this one. Okay. Let's do that.
Look at him building around this ritual site.
Now, can I potentially put him there?
That's just the end
There?
of a ley line. Yeah, so you're basically on the ley line there.
Okay, right, there we go.
Okay.
I'm going to do that. And I think that's all I can do.
And just for you can only, like, for example, in that situation, if you want, like, let's say you couldn't put his cultist there, you can only put a cultist on the tile you placed.
That's
Yeah.
correct, yeah.
So if I wanted to join in on anything over here, I would need to put a cultist over there.
Okay.
Okay, so there's nothing to resolve because it hasn't been stabilized yet, so it goes over to Carla.
So my dude goes
Yeah.
from the waiting area back into my hand. I think I'm going to take this one. Okay. I think I'm going to place it like this.
Oh, that sucks. Why would you do that? That makes me really difficult to complete that city now.
Yeah, well. So I'm going to use my We Are Legion, so I get to deploy in another, an additional cultist. So
Normally you can only do one a turn.
I'm going to place one on that ley line there and one in the city that is starting there.
Okay, yes. This would make more sense.
Okay, and obviously that's not stabilized, so that's fine. So it goes to me. I recover one of my cultists. And then I'm going to take this tile here. I know you guys can't see that, but tough. Now I'm going to have a quick look. How can this mess John up? There's a ley line there, isn't there? All that.
Just here.
Yeah. I could do that. Look at that. It fits like a beauty.
Oh.
So it moves Carla's ley line out that way. End caps this side of the city. Nah. And now I could place a cultist if I want to. There's obviously no reason to put it inside the district because I already have control of the district. I could put it on the ley line. I don't know if I want to. Screw it, I'm going to do it.
I was going to say, why wouldn't you want to?
So now I resolve tiles, there's nothing to resolve, so it goes to John. John's got nothing in his little house. So
why is there like a colour to that?
Which are that one? Look at John being really nice to me and adding a huge square in there. It's going to take me a while to fill up that city.
But when you do fill it up,
yeah,
that is going to be...
I will be summoning the king in yellow.
Yeah, that's... I don't know why I did that, but yeah.
That's good. I'm okay. I'll build on that. I'll work on that.
That's fine. That's going to take you some time.
Obviously, he can't place a cultist there because it's already been controlled by my... Oh, man, I just realised that road going nowhere into the city. That's really irritating.
What are you on about?
This ley line is going to be really difficult.
Okay, right. That's all I can do.
Okay, so Carla's got nothing in little cult house either, so she's going to choose
Take
a tile.
that.
What are you doing? They're messing me up. Oh, that's good. That fits in nicely there.
So I've got nothing to trigger here.
So I recover sanity, get another little cultist, and I can choose. Oh man, I think I'm going to take this one, and I can take anything with a district on now. So that's what I've taken.
Just to buff up your mega city.
You see that doesn't work, and that doesn't work. So I might have to do some. That doesn't work. Well, this was a really bad choice.
Yeah, but you can put it here and hope that there's...
I could, but I don't like that. Could do something like that.
Well, that's what I meant.
Can I do... I could do something at the top there as well to try and...
Yeah, that's not bad. Because that's end capping it.
Can I do it the other way? No. Fine. I'm going to do that. I didn't actually look if I was actually covering the camera with my ugly mug.
Most probably. It's just your nose.
So that ends my turn because I don't need to place a cultist. I could place one on the ley line, but I don't want to. So over to you, John.
What to do?
So what options you got? You got another little city with 2 ley lines, or a ley line that has a
something
in the middle. Yeah, like a little nud. That's me.
Yeah. And the ginger one. Tempted to take that. Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, thank you. Man, this... Something like that.
It's risky.
I'll place a little douchebag on that ley line, I think.
Well, maybe
is that
put it
even
in
worth doing?
You might want to put it in the city.
Oh,
but, yeah, because that'll obviously take control of
I
whatever.
can make my own little city there, unless it
goes into a dead end. Yeah, and if it combines up, it's fine. You'll just have double control of this one. But that low line does trigger.
Right. So flip
So they stabilize. Yep, so flip them all over.
He goes mad.
Yep. No, not that one. That one
Alright,
stays in there.
That one's in, this
Yeah.
one goes mad.
And this one flips over as well. Ah,
What is that?
that's the devourer.
Right. What's he do?
Right.
Devour stuff.
He
I
eats some
guess.
stuff. He's the feaster, sorry. The feaster. So any cultists that were in the lake at the time, they would get devoured by the
okay.
the feaster. And any ones that do, they get 4 points. 4 power points.
So they're out the game.
Yeah.
Alright.
The individual cultist
Yes.
is out of the game.
Yes.
He's removed
Yeah, sorry,
from
that's
play.
what I meant. Not the players out the game. Players out the game.
Yeah.
You get these
summoned
4
the
little
douche.
points, that's it.
So how many points did I get for that?
So
You
that's 3 tiles.
That's
So
3
yeah,
points.
but you don't get any points for that.
You get to-
You get
Oh,
to
because I need the blub blub.
yeah. So what you do, you can pay. You on 2 victory points at the moment. You could
So I
pay
can
one of those
purchase
victory
a
points.
ritual stone up to level 3.
Yeah. So either your 2 or your 3.
So it's cure one or place an additional one.
And I'm going to leave that. Hell with it. Hold on to that 1 point. Keep me on the board. Right, I'm done.
Okay. You call it.
Yeah.
What's quite interesting about you placing that there, John, like, for example, if I wanted to jump in on that tile there, it would not only would it finish off your ritual site, so you'll get 9 points for that, but I wouldn't be able to take control of the city there because you already have one there. And that's pretty much the only thing that can go there now.
So I did good.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm not the greatest tactician at this type of game. I go on by wing and a prayer.
I'm not far off that, to be fair.
Okay,
Wow.
so I got nothing to recover sanity-wise, so I'm going to go for another city piece.
Making
This
the
one.
biggest landmass.
Look at that. That fits in. That doesn't go that way around.
Thanks for showing us, though.
So that fits in there. Yummylicious.
Such a weirdo. Yeah, malicious while we're playing Cthulhu.
And back to you, John. Okay, so we finished off the game. As you can see, yeah, is a full view of the landscape of Carcosa. Pretty standard. So, the results were as follows. In third place was Carla. What do you have? 26 was it, Carla? 26, yeah.
26.
Second place was John with 33, was it, John?
Yep.
33. And me in first place with 50 points. That's the best score I've got so far in this game. And that was mainly due to a couple of big cities. I got a nice big one over there, and I got a nice healthy point stack over there at the end.
I think John will agree with me. It's mainly because he stole it from us.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
That's mainly what it is. Don't get fooled by all this. Oh, it's because of my big cities. No, It's because you made dick moves.
Yeah, I blocked them both off from completing their cities.
And then he claims it was all by accident.
Okay, so that is the general overview of how Carcosa is played. So you build out the city, score your points. At the end of the game, you score points. By the way, the game ended because two stacks of tiles ran out. Carla ended it on her turn, and then we count up the victory points. Obviously, the ones we scored up to that point, plus you get 1 victory point for each ley line that's left. You get 1 victory point for each district you control that's not completed. And you also get victory points for things around the ritual sites, and 1 victory point for any dude still sacrificed into the water. And also 1 victory point for each ritual stone you have that you haven't used. And then once you counted up the victory points, that is the winner. And that is a game of Carcosa, which is on Kickstarter now. And if this interested you, for the Cthulhu mythos mixed with a bit of Carcassonne tile laying, go check it out on Kickstarter. Like I said, the link will be below in the show notes. Hopefully I can stick one in the corner here as well, but my computer won't let me do that. And if you liked it, feel like going back, backing it and showing your support to one
free elephant.
One free elephant. As the name suggests, you get 1 free elephant with every game.
What's the name of the big bad in this?
The King in Yellow.
King in Yellow. Is this the King in Yellow?
Yeah.
Elephant?
There you go. Well, thanks for playing, guys.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.